My name is Usman, and here's a quick tutorial on how I do my color correction in After Effects. Basically, if you use Photoshop to do a design, you can do color correction or color enhancement, anything at all, maybe with the camera roll with Photoshop. You can also attempt to do likewise, maybe color enhancement or correction in a video or in a video animation in After Effects. You can also use Premiere Pro to do it, but I prefer to use After Effects because it gives me that feeling of I'm using Photoshop. Okay, so let's dive into it. One of the things I first do is to place an adjustment layer. First of all, this is an animation I created in Blender. I use Blender, so I created this in Blender, and I exported it as JPEG files, as sequence files in JPEG format. I did everything. Let me play the animation here so you see. There's the animation, just the earpods coming out of the case, and they rotate around and the camera revolves around it. So let me just show you where this particular one is. There are three of them. Okay, this is a scene where that is going on, so you can see the camera going up and all that. So it was all created in Blender and all that, but the color rendering out may not be as good as you want it, so that's why we export it as JPEG and we take it to a program that can help us do color correction, and then we can do the finishing touches and everything. You can check out all of my videos on my Instagram about some some things I create in Blender. I'm just learning the Blender for just to enhance, to boost my animation skills, design animation skills. Alright, but so far I've been using After Effects, and so let's just jump back to After Effects. In After Effects, we've already seen the exported video because I imported it as a JPEG sequence file, which is very easy to do. If you go to import, and because when I exported, they were exported as JPEG sequential file, you see 001, 002. So all you need to do is just select the first one, and here you will see importer JPEG sequence. Just check it. If it's PNG, it will also write as PNG, and you can just import as footage. Once you import, you will have it just like this. For I've done my own, and I've also increased the timing. That's one of the things about Blender. Blender takes time to export, takes time, and the time can be as much as 1 hour for a particular animation. So what I do is I shorten the frames. As I shorten these frames to 80 frames, and I exported only 80 frames, which is each JPEG file you see here is one, and there are 80 items here, so each one is one frame. So for me to do 250 frames, I mean it's going to be long, so I don't do the default 250 you have in Blender, rather I do the 80. And although it's very fast when it comes out, not the way it's playing, like it's always very fast. So what I do is that I do a time stretch on it. So here the original file is just 2 minutes and 2 seconds and few nanoseconds, that's frames also, but I had to increase it to 5 seconds. I had to time stretch it to 5 seconds, and so that way you are seeing it is looking okay, but the truth is that it's faster than this. Okay, so now back to the color correction, and the first thing I do is create an adjustment layer. I have these plugins. You can also download it. I think it's free. Forgotten but it's Void. You can just type Void on Google. Okay, but the one I'm going to use is the variant new adjustment layer replacement, so I'll just click on it. I prefer it to the usual adjustment layer. So what this means is you can also use the normal adjustment layer anyway. This is just me trying to patronize Void. Okay, if you use the normal adjustment layer, all you have to do is right click new, and you see adjustment layer, and it will just be on top as this is, but I prefer this, so I will just go straight to adding effect. Now most of the things you use to do color correction in a Photoshop, if you're a Photoshop user, is curves. Okay, like this is a design I did, and one is color corrected, the other one is not. Although for the image here I use camera raw, but most of the features of the camera raw are also the basic adjustment layer you find in Photoshop, which are all this one you can see here. Most importantly, curves, hue and saturation, maybe black and white, selective color, yes, okay, and there is a color balance and all that. So you can find all these adjustments these adjustments in After Effects, okay, and you can apply them on an adjustment layer. And what it means is that when the adjustment layer is above a particular layer, everything under that layer is affected by that adjustment layer. So on its own, it's not adding anything to the video except you add something to the layer itself. I don't like to do it on the layer of the video, so that I can also move that effect to another video. Like I have other videos here where I also animated the camera moving around the case and all that. The Bluetooth earpiece is at the bottom there. Sorry, it's lagging behind because I'm just playing it for the first time, but once it's done playing today, I need to play. That's normal. Okay, you can see the Bluetooth Earpod blinking. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that we can also copy the adjustment layer here to any of all this, and even this is another one where the case is opening. Okay, so let's just go ahead with this. So with this, I'll just go straight to the effects panel. Effects, is it effects and controls? Yeah, here. So I've already installed the FX console, so control space, and I put curves. Let's say curves will be my first go-to first. Okay, so this is a curves adjustment layer, just as we have curves in Photoshop, and you already know that in curves you have RGB. You can attempt to work on the red channel, attempt to work on the green channel, also attempt to work on the blue channel. It's just anyhow you want to do it. Okay, but first of all, I want you to understand that this whole design is basically projecting blue color and a little of a purple color, which shows the light. So there will be the two basic colors I'll be fighting to project more, okay, and also trying to preserve the contrast, which is the black and whiteness, which is dark and lightness of the entire image. So preserve the contrast much more. Most importantly, I think it's all about contrast, where the color you want it to pop out more or not pop out more. So first of all, I'll go straight to I'm already in the blues, and the one thing you have to know about this color thing is you must understand that RGB is opposite to CMYK whenever you are trying to do adjustment. So meaning for red is opposite of C for cyan, which is a blue. Okay, so if you bring in more red, you have less cyan. If you take away red, you have more cyan. Okay, more red, less cyan. Move over to the next one, CMYK. M is the next one, then RGB, G to M. So green to magenta, which is opposite of magenta. If you take away green, you have more magenta, and magenta is somehow a red color, but it's also close to purple. So you can take away green to have that purplish effect if you want. Then blue is Y, which is yellow. Okay, CMY. Now the blue there is opposite of yellow. So if I take away yellow, I'll have more blues, which is exactly what I want to do here. Okay, so it's just for you to know that. Okay, for instance, if I take the blue, this is the blue now. If I take the blue down, you're already getting yellow there, but that's not what I want. I want the blue to pop out more, so I take the blue up more. Okay, so any tinge of yellow will disappear even much more. So I go back to the green channel, I take it down, and you start to have that feel of purple coming into the. Let's be playing this so that we can also see how the light is also affected. You can see it too. The light too is also affected. Let me show you the before. This is the before. You can see it's just some gold, yellow going on faintly there, but this is the after. And you can see now that much of those blue color are popping out here and there. So now we said green is the opposite of cyan, which is cyan is also in blue. Okay, so if you take down red, I'm sorry to say red. So if you take down red now, you'll be having that color popping out. And so look at the before, where it is just looking almost washed out or not clear of the color. But look at the after, the glows of the color just comes out much more. So curves is one of the best go-to adjustment effect or layer one we use for either videos or for Photoshop designs. Okay, so and that's done. Let me excuse me. Okay, I still need to work on the RGB channel. The RGB is just a general control for everything. So you must select any channel you want to work on, because you may not be able to touch other channels if you're not on that channel. So for this one, what I usually do is to darken the dark and lighten the light, so you have that S curve. That's what is usually done. So, and you can see the contrast is even much more, man. Okay, so if you feel you want to control this, that's when you now have your opacity. You can add opacity. Like opacity here is 0, so this is the same thing as saying nothing has happened, even though it's active. But when you bring it to, like, let's say 50%, you can find that, yeah. So let's take it to 75%, because it seems too much at 100, and so you see it. So this is very, very good, very, very good, except you have more things to do, but this is very, very okay. So this is curves. I don't think I really want to do anything here again, because it seems very, very okay. But let's now show you how I move these to other, because they are all affected by the same lightning in Blender. It's the same lightning I use for all of them, though you can see the lights rotating, the light dancing as I play this. Let me show you one more camera. I don't know which camera I'm in right now. Let me see. Which camera is this? Yeah, okay, this is another camera. This is one, okay, this is another camera. Let me show you another camera. There's another camera. There's one open. Okay, there's also another camera. Okay, this camera is just still, it's not playing. Okay, it's just still, it's not playing. Okay, so they are all affected by the same line. So let me just copy. Let me just quickly rename this to color correction. Then I copy, Control C, go to Earpods. Okay, just above that one, paste, Control V, and you have that there. And so you can check out the before and the after. Let's play this through. You can see how the color is so unique. This is just color correction, popping out the colors to even much more, like enhancing it much more better. Okay, and when one sees this product, man, you like, oh, I want to buy this product. I don't care how much. All right, so let's try the last one. Let's add that color correction to the last one just above it, so you can see the before and you can see the after. Okay, let's play it through to see how that is. This is just where the Earpod casing is lightening on, and when it is fully charged, it opens. I'm gonna really edit this video where once it opens, it moves over to this third video where the Earpod comes out. Just as it opens, you have a rotate view, the Earpod comes out. That's why I had to create that 3 scene on Blender. Blender, you have to see these 3 scenes. So this is a scene, this is a scene, this is a scene, and all. So just playing around anyway. Okay, so yeah. So that's it, guys. That's how to do color correction. Thank you. Always try to subscribe, and you can always throw in questions, whatever you want to know about in design and animation. We are at Marker Studio. We're basically into design and animation. Thank you.